Yeah, just feels good. We're back.
We are back, baby. We are back. We're back. Classic.
Woo!
No, football.
Roll the intro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another season of Uncle Dan's Best Bets here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Before we get started, as always, we appreciate it. I appreciate it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be back. And it is awesome, once again, to be sponsored and be partnered up with Bob Johnson Auto Group another year with Bob Johnson Auto Group backing Uncle Dan's Best Bets. If you're buying, if you're leasing, if you're trading in, need a new car, anything like that, talked about it last year. I promise I won't harp on it again. My wife and I work with Daryl out in Leroy. Bob Johnson Auto Group is great. So happy to have them once again being a sponsor here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel for Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Last year, recapping, 80, 78, and 5. Mid as the kids would say, it's fine. You know, winning season, that didn't make a ton of money, but we want to bounce back. We've always had winning years. We want to keep this going. Always want to keep tracking these picks. Really appreciate it to Basil, to Ian, to everybody that comments in. Always comment in with what your picks are or your favorite plays of the week. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow. And we built this little community here, approaching 40,000 subscribers on the Buffalo Plus channel. Make this, this year of Uncle Dan's Best Bets the best ones yet. Looking at week one, it's exciting to be back, but the slate is it's kind of being a little tricky. Trying to feel some things out there, some big games. If you watched the live show that Mike, Jen, and I did at the Thirsty Turtle, shout out Bud Light, partnering with Buffalo Plus. I don't have a great feeling about this Bills game, week one against the Ravens, so that's the spoiler alert, but I always have a Bills play in there as well. But we like to go chronologically. So as the season goes on, we get a little bit more creative with some of the intros and some of the bits, maybe, as you would say. But as for week one, let's just get right to it. Hopefully next week, sidetrack, we're in the Connors and Ferris Buffalo Plus new studio. So hopefully next week you will see Mike, Jen, and I in a different layout. This may be the last one at the home studio. So week one, trying to be cautious. What did I have? 163 plays last year. Could be approaching 200 maybe this year. But we'll start out with a 9-pack. 9 plays for week one. 5 games or totals, and then 4 player props as well. We'll go chronologically. That's how I like to do these games. And then the Bills play is always at the end. If you're new, thanks so much for joining us. Let's get into the picks. First pick, player prop. I like Drake London over 6.5 catches against the Bucs. Couple reasons why. The big one, and all of these are through DraftKings. That's where my book is, and that's where I work with. Drake London over 6.5 catches, mainly because Michael Penix Jr. loves Drake London. So when Michael Penix took over the last 3 weeks of the regular season last year, London led the NFL in receiving yards, and his targets in those games were 8, 13, and 18 targets the last week. I think this is going to be a fun, high-scoring game, and I think Penix just looks for London all the time. There's talks that London may be talked about in the top 5 wide receivers at the end of this season with Penix throwing him the ball. I like over 6.5 catches against the Bucs in what I expect to be a high-scoring game. Also, amongst the player props, I like James Conner over 68.5 rushing yards against the Saints. The Saints were really bad. 31st against the run last year defensively. They bring in Brandon Staley, who's never had a good rushing defense to begin with. I think the Cardinals aren't going to be good. I think the Saints will be worse. So if I'm thinking that the Cardinals are going to be ahead, I think that means a lot of James Conner's runs to run out the clock. I like James Conner over 68.5 rushing yards. Going with this new coaching kind of trend, kind of feel, Liam Cohen, Duval. Yeah, how about that for you? I think that Liam Cohen tries to make a statement in week one. I think that he will try and feed Brian Thomas Jr. a lot. What will Trevor Lawrence be? Maybe now with Travis Hunter alongside Brian Thomas, maybe that opens it up even a little bit more. So I like Brian Thomas Jr. over 5.5 receptions. He's the guy that consistently had 6-7 catches a week last year. So I like that. So those are the three player props to start out week 1 of the NFL season. London, James Conner, Brian Thomas, over Conner rushing yards and over catches for London and Brian Thomas Jr. Let's get to some games. I kind of like the Raiders this year. Look, I know the AFC West is going to be loaded, but they actually have a head coach that's an adult in the room. And I kind of like that idea with bringing in Geno Smith, that this is going to be, I don't think the Raiders are going to be good, but I think they're going to be competent. And with all of those things and Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and Ashton Jeanty, like, I think they're going to be a decent football team. I don't know how many games they're going to win, but I don't think they're going to be an embarrassment as much as they were last year. So I'll take the Raiders and the small candy at New England. I think New England will be trending in the right direction by the end of the year, but I like the Raiders. I like, Max Crosby getting after this poor offensive line. I know they're trying to revamp it. I know they're trying to do a lot of things in New England. I just don't know if it comes out right away in week 1. So I'll take the small dog. That's a big thing here too. The trends are a lot of small dogs. Last year was a ton of favorites. Favorites were incredible last year. Wasn't great for the sharp money. So I'll take the Raiders plus the points at New England in week 1 to cover. My favorite play of the week. Favorite play. I've seen this bounce around at a ton of different places when I did my research. Titans Broncos over 42.5. The Broncos last year, the over was 8-0 when Denver played teams that were under 500. I think we can all agree, whether you think my picks stink or not, and I read the comments, I think we can all agree that the Titans will be a team under 500. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, this is a team that, look, I love their defense. I think it's going to be legit. But I don't see them being a great team. And Denver last year showed that they have the propensity to run the score up against bad teams. If the Titans are a bad team, I think Denver runs it up. I think they make a statement in week 1. Over 42.5 is one of my favorite plays, if not my favorite play of the week. Bo Nix, some pieces around him. I think they try and make a statement. I like that. I like that one a lot. Give me the points in that one. Also, this is maybe the best game of the week that isn't the Bills and Ravens, obviously in primetime. Lions at Packers. You look at both of these teams, both have been extremely good at covering against the spread early on in the seasons. Matt LaFleur, all these numbers, you look at what he's done in September, and then you look at pretty much the last 3 years, the Lions have been the best team at covering. Jared Goff's really good early on. I know the game's outside, but I think this is a close game, and they talk about divisional dogs in week 1. Close game, I'll take the points. Give me the Lions plus the 2.5. I think the Packers could be a Super Bowl contending team as well as the Lions. I just think this is a close game, and in close games, I'll take the points. So I'll take the Lions plus 2.5. There's kind of this thought of this emotional letdown after the Lions' magical season fizzles out in the wild card round, losing to the Commanders. But I like the Lions plus 2.5 to just come out with some juice in a tough environment on the road. I'll just take the small points in that one. I've talked about it on Buffalo Plus a lot. I like the Bengals. Maybe I'm a sucker, but the Bengals defense can't possibly be worse than it was last year. They played their starters a bunch in the preseason. I'll buy the hype. I think that this is a team that has something to prove. Signing T. Higgins, bringing back Hendrickson. I think there's a lot to prove on this team, and I think they try and make a statement early on. I know this goes against, but Dan, you're going up against the divisional dog. Yeah, I know that, but I just think the Bengals try and lay a beating and try and really focus. And I know Joe Burrow, and the stats will tell you that Burrow and the Bengals are bad early on in the season. I think I'll buy the hype and think they try and get it right early on in this one. So I will take the Bengals minus 5.5 at the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns stink. I don't think they're very good. And it just popped up that Myles Garrett didn't practice on Wednesday. I'm recording this on Thursday. So all of these lines are active right now. I'm recording this Friday morning. So all these lines are out right now on DraftKings. So I will take the Bengals minus 5.5. I will also take, this is the big one, home underdogs, home divisional underdogs are like 80% in week one over the last 10 years. They've been really good. The one big play that is the Bears plus 1.5 at home against the Vikings. I'm buying the Ben Johnson hype. I like Caleb Williams. I like how they've really kind of retooled that offensive line. I'm not sure about their defense, but I'm not sure what the Vikings are going to be with the rookie quarterback in his first start in a tough environment. I think there's a lot of hype around this Bears team, and it doesn't make sense to me why they are a small dog in this game. I'll take the Bears. I'll take Ben Johnson. I'll take Caleb Williams at home as a divisional home dog to cover and let alone win that game against the Minnesota Vikings. And finally, those are 8 plays. The final play, the Bills on Sunday night. My heart says the Bills in that environment, final home opener at Highmark Stadium before they move across the street to the new stadium. It'll be emotional. It's a rematch of a great divisional game that we talked about. Obviously, everybody knows in the playoffs, I think the Ravens are the better team. This line, originally the Bills were 1.5 point favorites. They're now 1.5 point dogs. They'll be dogs at home for the first time since the 2020 season. So look, I understand they're banged up in their secondary, all of this stuff. I don't like the matchup. I didn't like the matchup back in week 4 when they played last year and the Ravens blew them out. But if you're a Bills fan, and a lot of you probably are here as Bills fans, try not to overreact because you have a lot of young players that are going to get their feet wet in the deep end of the pool. So I don't like the injuries. I don't think Trey White's going to play. I don't like the inexperience of some of these guys going up against the matchup of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That's my concern. So yeah, Josh Allen's amazing. All of these things, I think there's going to be a ton of points in this game. My question is that right now is TJ Sanders and Deion Walker and Cole Bishop, and if Dorian Strong starts, like, are they enough to slow down Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? Like, it's one thing to get your first taste of real NFL action. It's another thing to get your first NFL action against a 2-time MVP and one of the best running backs of all time. So I'm going to stay away from the total. I'm going to stay away from the side. What I do like in this spot is James Cook over 52.5 rushing yards, especially because looking back at last year when the Bills opened up the season at home against Arizona, James Cook had 19 carries. So when he gets over 10 carries, he's topping 55 rushing yards at a pretty good clip. So I think that they will lean on James Cook in this game. And the one thing that I love most about this Bills offense, I think their biggest strength is their offensive line. And I don't think Josh is going to be running the ball 10, 11, 12 times. I think they're going to hand the ball to James Cook. He had good games against them in the playoffs. I think that's what they're going to lean on. So James Cook over 52.5 rushing yards is my play. That's the 9-pack. We will start with 9. We will keep the cards. Last year, I was not good on cards that were double digits. So we're going to try and have 9 be the max. Drake London, over receptions. James Conner, over rushing yards. Brian Thomas Jr., over catches. Raiders plus the points. Titans, Broncos, over. Lions plus the points. Bengals minus 5.5. Bears plus 1.5. James Cook over 52.5 rushing yards is my play for the Bills-Ravens game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I nailed it. Sometimes I mix up the graphics, or sometimes I say it wrong, but the graphic is right. So there's my 9-pack of plays. Let's do it. Football is back. Thanks again for everybody. Comment in, as always, what your favorite plays are for the week in the comments. Really appreciate it. Let's all win some money, okay? Thanks again. Like, comment, and subscribe. We are back, baby. We'll catch you next time here. Best of luck this weekend. Let's win some money. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel.